Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Email me for pricing, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Released in 2011 and part of the Dimier collection, this is the Bovet Recital 7 Orbis Mundi with moon phase. This example with mother of pearl subdials and aventurine moon phase in a red gold case. This is a 50-piece limited edition, and Bovet does limited editions beautifully, right down to freehand engraving the edition number on the reverse side. So the basic model is a world time watch with a moon phase. It's 45 millimeters in diameter, though thinner than you'd expect at 13.8 millimeters thick. It's broad across the wrist at 53.8 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now, you throw it on my wrist, and my wrist is 16 centimeters, but I can wear it. I just wouldn't wear it on a smaller wrist than mine. So 16 centimeters circumference or larger, you're good to go. And you'll be pleased to know that with a concave bezel profile and a relatively thin overall thickness, it is a watch you could fit underneath the cuff, which I suppose is becoming of a dress watch. One more shot down the barrel, one from over the top. Now, let's take a look at the strap. It is remarkably substantial, opulent in the way almost everything about a Bovet watch is. It's large rectangular scale alligator leather with remarkably large and symmetrical scales, which is what you like to see. That's the best cut of alligator leather. It's high gloss. You can see there's a lot of bolstering. It probably uses a small sewn-in insert to mate to the case flank without any gap showing. As you can see, this is a highly integrated strap. It traces the arc of the case, but also the tumble home of the lugs. And then the strap is held on using screws and bars, an expensive, laborious, but upscale and super secure solution to the problems posed by spring bars. This gives me more peace of mind with a large, heavy, and expensive watch. We have a broad folded edge monotone stitch, and on the bottom, you can see we have, it is part of the Dimier collection, we have a calfskin underside, and then we have a simple, but again, opulent rose gold Bovet buckle that is itself fixed with screws and bars. Now, rolling around, you can see that the watch has a fascinating and nuanced caseband. First, the lugs. They're relatively narrow when you view them end-on, but they expand when you view them from the side. Now, they've been hollowed and media blasted, which contrasts beautifully with their primarily polished finish. Take a quick look. Those are welded-on lugs. The case and the lugs were created separately. The lugs were then inserted into slots of the case, welded on, and then all the gathered material from the weld was removed. This speaks to a laboriously created case, made the old-fashioned way, not machined, not stamped. Now, the rest of the case is a little bit of a rotund profile, the mid-case defined by the overlapping lip of the case back and the bezel. You can see that the case back itself is concave, and the bezel actually echoes that. It's got a little bit of a tumble home inward, so it's concave in profile to thin the apparent mass of the watch. We have one pusher adjuster, which adjusts the city of reference, and then we have another which will adjust both the reference time zone and the city of reference at the same time. And you can see there's a lovely little, let me see if I can get it, lovely little hand-lacquered smiley sun in there. And then we have stars, and you can see that the moon has a wonderful metallic grain across its surface. You'll also note, as we get close here, that the subdial for the secondary time zone, as well as the compound primary and moon phase, that's actually cut mother of pearl. The Bovet letters are rose gold to match the case. They're polished and applied. And then we have blued hands that do actually have, if we check it out, a little bit of luminescence. I'm not sure how legible that is, but it's nice to be there. Now, what I love here is that it is full of lovely little details like the mother of pearl elements, the applied rose gold letters, and the aventurine glass moon phase. That is particularly beautiful. You can see aventurine glass is a rich, dark, translucent blue enamel with metallic elements added in, almost like the cosmos behind the moon right there. Now, if you want to adjust the moon, there's a pusher adjuster adjacent. If you want to adjust the reference city, you can do that by itself, and then you can adjust everything. We have a 12-hour dial, but with the AM/PM indicator, it lets you know whether you're looking at, for example, 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. And we do have a lot of reference cities, so by no means every time zone, but for the principal 24, we have cities of reference, so you can quickly align with wherever you are on the Earth. Now take a quick look. There's actually a star and jumper system and a lot of springs, jumpers, and index wheels on this dial. You could see some of the work done on the mechanism by Bovet watchmakers is breathtaking. If you look at the mechanism adjacent to the jumper for the moon phase right here, you can actually see that we have a remarkably drawn set of bevels that end in points. And pointed outward angles are as tough to accomplish as sharp inward angles. They may be undersung on Instagram, but they're just as challenging and just as important. You can see all metal surfaces are either black polished, beveled, or satinated, and the elements rendered to create the manufacture watchmaking of this moon phase dual time / world time complication. This is all Bovet craft knowledge. Now, when they do go outside the company, they bring in some of the best. You can see there's a sapphire inset in the crown, and then on the reverse side, you will note the subtle maker's mark. Let me see how close I can get. The subtle maker's mark of Frédéric Piguet on the base plate, and that is fine. Manufacture Blanc Pain is a great way to go if you want a customer caliber to drive your manufacture complication. Now you can see that they have elaborately decorated the rotor itself. The rotor features satination, freehand engraving with a burin, and then gorgeous chiseling, a hammered finish to set this apart from just another own rotor. Now, what you'll also note is that the movement itself is suitable for a watch like this. This is a twin-barrel haute horlogerie 5-position adjusted movement with a 72-hour power reserve. You can see it's a 28-joule movement. It has mirrored bevels that are outstanding. You can see them well from this angle. Lustrous and Luminous Cote de Genève across the surfaces, both black polished and fired blued screws. And then you can see that there's solarization on the barrels, which is beautiful and wonderful thing to see. There's satination on the wheels where you can see them peeking through, and then there's engine turning on the base plate, black polish on the cover of the curb pins, and then satin finish on the top of the regulator. It's all very nicely done and water resistant down to 30 meters. This watch is simply overflowing with richness. This is what Bovet does so well. Remember, Bovet is a company based out of a castle that makes only 1,000 to 1,500 watches a year, and they have a tremendous amount of competence. Even when a customer caliber is used, they find a way to include their own take on engineering, art, and science. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.